We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let's kind of jump right in with the old business. So the asbestos update, they have started, and it looks like they're almost, well, I don't know how long it's taken. I don't know how long they've actually been working, but they have about 4 or 5 days left until they're finished. So that's moving along pretty good. The Osceola roof project is also moving along at a fairly good pace, I think. So we did receive the change order form that for the fire damage, the framing restoration that we talked about last time, the unknown amount that was going to be in there, and that amount is $24,474, which that was part of that $226,000 line item. If you want to look at your budget real quick, it looks like that's kind of line 61 and 63. Those kind of go together, and those were the ones that should pretty much firm up all the roof, right?
Yes, with the exception of the one proposal request we've got there now for terracotta repairs, window repairs. Yeah.
So it looks like we still have about $600,000 left in the Osceola fund, and so Aaron has requested a proposal that's, if you want to talk a little bit about it, it's just a lot of different things. He feels like this will probably eat up the majority of this of their money, but
Yeah.
if you want to talk about that at all?
Yes. Did you send that out to everybody?
I didn't send it. No, I did not send that out.
So we just issued a proposal request to Renaissance Roofing, the contractor on the Osceola roof project. We just asked them for a price for a list of things that we know the Osceola Courthouse needs. Terracotta repair. We've got damage to the terracotta cornice. Just lots of damage on the terracotta. There's a built-in gutter that wraps around the cornice that needs to be flashed, or a new deck coating put down over the top of it to keep the water out. The windows in the second floor of the courtroom are in real bad shape. Those windows need to be addressed. We've asked them for a price to change the sashes out only. We're not replacing the windows in their entirety. Changing out windows on an old courthouse is kind of a no-no anyway on a historic building. So the frames are actually in fine shape, so we'll keep the old frames. We're just replacing the window sashes on these double-hung windows with new wood, Spanish cedar window sashes that'll be painted. So we've asked them for a price for that. I think the judge also made me aware of that one of the circuit judges had been asked a question about pigeons at the front entrance. So there's kind of a problem with pigeons, as there has been for 100 years at the Osceola Courthouse. So we've asked them for a price to do some address pigeon problem, which is some netting and pigeon spiky stuff that you put on horizontal ledges to keep pigeons from roosting. So just a list of stuff that we've asked them for a price, and we expect to hear back from them probably this week. We anticipate those numbers being pretty high. In fact, one of those things, the terracotta repair, we did have originally in the scope. It was pulled out when we realized how much it was going to be. And at that time, the Blytheville Courthouse project had not yet bid, so we just wanted to be careful with how much things were costing. So it's work that we'll recommend, but we just need to find out. So we expect to hear back on that this week. So that's where we stand with Osceola. Just for this a little bit of a sidetrack, but here in 2 weeks, Preserve Arkansas is a statewide nonprofit group that exists to advocate for historic buildings, and they have expressed interest in doing a Facebook Live feed of your project, both the Osceola Dome project and the Blytheville Courthouse project. So that was planned for September the 22nd here in a couple weeks. So I'm not sure I've let even Molly know that, but that's just sort of out of the blue. But it'd be good publicity for you, I think. And it's an excellent project, and I think the people that they reach out to, appreciate older buildings and that sort of thing. So I think that's some good publicity for you. So that's in 2 weeks. And we scheduled that at a time when we think the copper is going to start going back on. So we've got photographs of some completed copper right now in their shop. We expect within the next couple of weeks, some of that copper will start showing up, and you'll begin to see that work on the dome.
You said September 22nd, is there a time?
Yeah, so right after lunch. So in 2 weeks, we'll have our usual OAC meeting at the Courthouse. And then we'll meet them for lunch. One of them's coming over from Fayetteville, so I think he's coming over early that morning. And then we'll start broadcasting probably right after lunch, like 1 o'clock or something like that. We'll have to, I can find out exactly and kind of let you know ahead of time so that we can kind of get the word out. But that's the plan. So that's Osceola. Does that answer your questions, Molly?
Yeah, no, that's, yep. Great.
The only other update on the budget is the AV systems, so we, Rick, you and I were going to go back and forth there for a while. We had this 295 number from the AV people, and we knew it was going to come down a little bit because the scope in the courtrooms changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it came down a lot more. Yeah. So that's good news. So line number 22, we had an allowance in the project of $300,000 for AV systems, and the bid right now is at $255,500. So we're doing good overall with the allowance.
So what I'll do, and on the proposal, I'll email that out to everybody just so everybody can kind of read it a little bit, spend a little more time reading it. And I'll also email out the AV equipment update. I was going to bring everyone a copy until I realized it was 23 pages long, so, so I skipped it. So I'll just email that to everybody.
Yeah. It's a helpful proposal if you do it that way, because I think they embedded a link within the proposal. So for each line item that you see there, you can click on a link and it'll take you to that piece of equipment that's in the bid real easy. So you can kind of see for yourself what it is that they're doing. So that'd be a good idea if you wanted to.
And also on there's like what they took out is listed in red.
Yeah.
So that was pretty helpful, I thought, as well.
Yep.
So now has the contract with them been signed? Is that?
Not yet. That's in process. So we
Okay.
just sent on change order number 6 to CNI, which is going to add the entry balcony work. There is a credit for blinds and shades, and then we'll also add the AV system contractually. So it'll put into the CNI contract that AV system.
Well, it's actually going to create credit.
It creates credit, thank you, Porter. So there's, in CNI's bid right now is that $300,000 allowance. We're writing the change order in such a way where they're giving us back $44,471.78. So as of right now, after I do that math, the bid started out from CNI, they're at the top, $11,098,000. We're below $11 million right now. This is just awesome. Our change orders are taking money out of the project.
Let's ask a question about the AV equipment. It's pretty much going to be a plug and play type
Yes.
system. There's not going to be a lot of maintenance to be done. It's not going to take a genius to run it.
Yeah, so I don't think it's quite that simple, but I don't think it's quite genius either. So I'm gonna take the same answer. I think there'll be a learning curve, but I think it's once you get used to how this thing works, it should be pretty simple from there. It's
They
not.
include the training under the.
Yeah, it includes training, so it's not that complicated, that sophisticated, where it takes a PhD, figured out. But it'll take a little bit of getting used to how this thing operates.
Well, I'm just concerned that a lot of times every time you go hook up a mic, they have to go through a procedure, but a lot of them have the plug and play, as they call it.
Yeah.
You plug it in, it finds the equipment and starts to download it.
Yeah.
And then they may have to fine tune it, but that's a little bit different than having to install it.
Right. There is one feature that's pretty plug and play. It's, they put back in the mobile cart, which will make video conferencing and remote trials and that sort of thing a little easier, especially given the pandemic thing. So that feature that they've added is a plug and play technology. I've got familiarity with it. It is as simple as it can be. I mean, you hit a button basically, and it's smart. It knows you're there, and all you got to do is hit play on your computer. So I know that part of it is really simple. But overall, I've got to think there's going to be some getting used to how things operate.
There's always a learning curve.
I think there will be.
I just don't want something that you're gonna have to have
Yeah,
an AV person that has to be there every time they're gonna use it.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I guess it depends on, I've just assumed that the clerk would probably be the one that helps out the judges sort of figure that stuff out when it comes right down to it, and there will be somebody on hand that can troubleshoot. I don't think it's gonna take, you know, full-time staff, but it's,
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
yeah, I don't think it's about that.
Thank you, so I got one question. You're talking about the spikes on the ledges, keep the pigeons from sitting on the ledges.
Uh-huh.
Now, at one time they were there, I don't know if they, I mean, I ain't paid attention a long time, but they were spike strips on all the ledges.
They've got netting up there that's been there for a while, and it's sort of run down and doesn't look very good anymore. I didn't see the spikes on there. They may have been at one time, but I don't recall. I didn't see them lately.
And I looked at on there, but I know they were there just,
At one time recently.
Janet, you know if they're still there?
What is
The
that?
spikes on the ledges outside the windows on the courthouse? They had spikes to keep the
Not
pigeons
that I
from sitting.
remember.
Yep.
And these are not going to be on the window ledges. These will be,
Well, they're not on the window ledges, it's like a big, there's like a big shelf all the way around, what you call
Right.
it, to,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah,
Would
there's,
it be on all of them?
no, so this particular spot is only at the front entrance on the column capitals, like under the porch roof. And then there's some horizontal trim that's got, I mean, there's horizontal ledges all over the place that
Yeah.
they can roost on, but that'll be the spiky stuff. We were not planning to put it on the windowsills, on the window ledges. No.
Well, it might not be where you're talking, I just know when you looked out the window before on that ledge, it goes kind of,
They did have, yeah, I mean, they've, right now they've got the netting that's up there, but it's just kind of nasty, especially above it hadn't been touched in decades, and just don't look very good, so. This will give us the opportunity to clean all that up too.
So, when that was mentioned, so I think currently we are paying a company to do something with the pigeons.
Oh, really?
So we need to see exactly what, we may need to see what they're doing to make sure that that's not something we're gonna try to repeat. I understand what you're talking about, the spikes, but, I don't know.
what company is
Yeah.
it, do you know?
They come once a month and put out some type of pellet. Doesn't work well, but they do come.
Yeah, if you don't mind, send me that.
I hope it ain't, I hope it ain't poison, that's a big time no-no.
I think it is poison.
There's a lot of different ways of doing it. It was suggested, I think, by someone to do an owl or
I've done that, oh yeah.
an
I've
animal
done
that it's battery operated, does a screech every once in a while. You know.
Yes.
There's all kinds of possibilities. The only one that I know, I guess, works is the spiky stuff, and then, but you know, that's all I know.
Yeah, yes, I had a blackbird problem once, and I used the sound.
Screech.
Yeah, and it worked for a little while, but it was not a long-term
Well, that's
fix.
battery operated, so you still have to, somebody's got to maintain it, get up there and
Yeah.
replace the batteries,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, okay, so that's, did we receive the actual proposal, the estimate from Evergreen about the,
Not yet, so I
Okay.
did follow up with Evergreen, and she says I'll have it within a couple days, so I expect that this week.
okay, and I sent that out, did everybody get the
We did.
the picture?
I did.
Okay.
Took me a while to find the difference in the.
What did you think, based on overall, what was your impression?
I like the design. I'm trying to remember, I don't remember which proposal was which, but there was one that I liked better than the other.
Yeah.
And I think it was the same one that Molly had picked, because to me, that one just looked so intricate in there, I didn't know how you do
No,
that.
that's Aaron. He picked, I've tried to, I try not to put my personal opinions in there. But, yeah, to me, one kind of has a square, kind of looks like a square pattern, and then the other one looks a little bit like feathers.
More like a rope type pattern.
Yeah, there you go. So, I liked them both. I thought they were both nice.
Now y'all gonna make me look at them again.
I tell you, I had to look hard to find the difference. Well, I kept it.
Yeah.
I didn't take it.
I had to look really hard.
Well, so while Justice Norvell is looking for the pictures, we'll move on. So there was a meeting this morning, and like I mentioned, the asbestos is moving, it's moving right along. They do have the storm drain installed. The contractor feels like it's still looking good to have some asphalt down before the winter. The decking on the first and second floors are about half finished, and most of I didn't write what floor that was on. The electrical rough end is done.
They're on the second floor.
Yeah,
Is that
the
what-
decking is on the addition.
Right,
Yeah.
but then
The electrical rough end is still finishing up on the second floor of
Okay.
the existing courthouse. Yeah.
Sorry,
Once the first floor was completed, I've already inspected it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty well. And most of the HVAC piping, you know, they're making pretty good progress there. They're just waiting on the asbestos on the third floor really before they hit that hard.
All right, so we've kind of already looked at the budget for the most part. There's not, it really, it looks, I feel like it looks good. We haven't really run into many unknowns yet, any costs that were unanticipated. We may have, now the asbestos is not in this,
Yes,
is
that's
not
right.
in here.
Yeah.
That's an additional, what, we think about $40,000.
Yeah, just under 40.
Okay. Probably over the next month or so, we may have an additional cost of the replastering. I don't think that'll, Aaron is working with them on that. I don't think that'll be a terribly big number, at least we hope not.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works
Yeah.
out. There is kind of one issue that we do need to talk about. So over here on the re-roof summary, like lines 71 kind of through 84, that summary. So you see where it says fees and expenses? We talked about this last month. So all of that expense right now is under the Blyville roof, that $120,000. We may need, I think it is that, when talking with the judge this morning, he would like to see that divided back out. And I do think that's probably for the best if we're gonna keep just to make sure we all know where we are. So we will need to probably move that. Peggy, I don't really know the best way to do that. You may need to help us a little bit on that.
So it was all taken out of the Bible.
It was all taken out of the Blyville, and I believe that is about $73,000 that should go that's actually Osceola's expense. Is that?
Yeah, it was 73,000 or 73,500.
That sounds right.
Would we need to do an appropriation moving that? Recommend to the finance committee do an appropriation, or is that something that we can do with a court order?
We normally just do a court order to transfer funds.
Okay, who would do that?
That's
The
what
judge?
mom does that.
Okay.
Do we need to make a motion to do that?
I would say so.
Do you need just a resolution to do that, or do you need ordinance?
I don't think so. I think I've got a court order with me.
I make a motion that we have Peggy do a court order to move the 73,000 from the Osceola, or from the Blyville project to the Osceola project on the re-roof, so that we can keep finances straight on the two.
That's what a court order is. It's just a transfer of funds.
The geotech?
Okay.
Yeah, that was done
Second.
early on.
All right, we have a motion to transfer that money. like I said, it was just paid, we just didn't divide it to begin with, and so we can divide that out. Is there any discussion?
It's not gonna change.
Just, when I made the motion for 73, make it for the amount that is necessary.
Okay, I'll get it.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Still,
Any opposed? All right, we will move the money. So, other than that, there's not really anything else on the budget. At the end of September, we will take a look at the interest, again, from the CDs and checking accounts. Let's see. All right, so the payment, number 7 has just been approved for last month, and that payment, and it's gonna be roughly $747,000. And I believe that's been sent, Aaron has signed it, and that's been sent to the judge. We currently have $1.5 million appropriated. After we do that, it'll leave us, I don't remember how much, the payment app is $762,000. It's gonna leave us $747,000. So I feel, I talked with Jeremy from CNI, and he is going, they're expecting about an $850,000 pay app for September. So it would be my recommendation that we appropriate another $500,000 to leave it a little over $1 million. If they do come in at the $850,000, they still have about $400,000 to work with through the month of September and into October.
I'll make a motion that we send it over to finance to move $500,000 into the construction budget.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor of $500,000 being sent to finance?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll make that. Let's see, really, after that, the next OAC meeting will be on the 22nd of September. And so there will be the Preserve Arkansas after lunch. And then our next meeting will be 2 weeks after that, which looks like it will be on October the 6th.
That's my birthday, I don't know if I'll be here.
October the 6th. That's when we're planning on getting you a party here.
I wasn't.
And so we'll just stay with the 1:30. Hopefully Justice Norvell will be able to make it. So,
He wants 10:30.
I would say let's say happy birthday, but nobody wants to hear me
I know,
say it.
especially not on.
When you get married, you don't want to hear people say happy birthday.
I'm glad I made it.
You want to forget them.
Well, all right, if there's nothing else, then.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Well, so that's.
Amen.
Well, you get my name, I think you should.
Well.